Late breaking. This is West 2 News at 11 in high definition.
And right off the top at 11 o'clock, tracking this line of heavy rains moving into central Florida. I'll have the timing of when it moves in and out of your neighborhood.
I'm Adrian Whitsett. This video was sent to us from a West 2 viewer from one of the worst hit spots, Poinciana. The rest of us saw flash flooding and plenty of lightning to light up the sky. We have First Alert Weather team covered with crews checking out the damage left behind. But we begin with meteorologist Eric Burris.
Yeah, the radar is a bit quieter now in terms of intensity, but we still have plenty of showers around central Florida. So let's take you in a little closer, right into the heart of the metro area, where the rains are now pushing into West Volusia County and will eventually move from about New Smyrna through Port Orange, Ponce Inlet, Wilbur by the Sea, even up into Daytona Beach as we push into the evening. Light batch of showers from Bithlo and Christmas all the way across the county line here over to Port St. John. These guys are going to peter out as they move into Mims and Titusville. Back over to the west, Ocoee, Windermere, watching these little waves of energy pushing on through. As a matter of fact, out here over the Harris Chain of Lakes, we're going to add a couple of inches, I think, before all is said and done with all of these showers. There's Orla Vista. We're back over toward St. Pine Hills, Lockhart, College Park, watching that little heavier band lifting from Roosevelt Street, eventually moving up toward Lee Road and Edgewater. Here's Claremont, Ferndale, kind of beginning to fade just a little bit here as it crosses the turnpike, but there's a lot of moist air. There's a lot of energy in the atmosphere, and that's why you're getting things like this developing out here in Marion County from Fellowship back over to Dunellen. Lots of lightning in here and heavy rains that'll be impacting I-75 from Ocala to Redding. So it's an active evening, but as we look ahead to your Easter holiday, what does that mean? Well, we've got you covered neighborhood by neighborhood. I'll break down your forecast in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Eric. Well, hailstones piled up in some places in Poinciana. Trees also came down there, and there are plenty of problems tonight. West 2's Matt Lapoli is live in one of the neighborhoods checking out what is a lot of damage, Matt.
Adrian, that's right. Take a look at what's left behind for a homeowner here in Poinciana. You can see this massive root system from a tree is up out of the ground. As photojournalist James Cole will show you, much of the rest of the tree is now sitting atop this home here. We spoke to the homeowner tonight. He's just glad his family is okay.
My wife called me and she said that the tree had just fallen.
Yohandi returned home after a frantic call from his wife to find this 40-foot tree uprooted and on top of his home. The National Weather Service says wind is to blame from the same storm that piled pellets of frozen rain across Poinciana. These photos from another resident show the rare sight of white blanketing the ground and some other damage done by the storm that brought the hail.
We got home, and when we got onto our street, there was strewn tree branches everywhere.
Richard, like most neighbors, is dealing with minimal damage, and most are glad for that. Even Yohandi as well, whose 40-foot oak is sitting over his bedroom and bathroom, says he's thankful no one in his home was hurt.
Nothing to us happened because these are things that are replaceable. The house can be built, rebuilt, but we're not replaceable. So if something would have happened to any of us, then the story would have been entirely different.
Now, the full extent of the damage to the home is not clear tonight. Of course, the homeowner hopes to have a better idea of that come sunup tomorrow. Reporting live in Poinciana, Matt Lapoli, West 2 News.
And the rain made driving just miserable along I-4 as these storms move through. This video our crew got while driving through Orlando on their way to Poinciana to check out more storm damage tonight. West 2's Matt Grant continues our team coverage. He's live to show us what he's found. Matt.
Well, Adrian, we're off Cypress Parkway at the Family Dollar now. In Florida, we're used to heavy rains. What we're not used to, though, is this. Take a look. This is hail. Now, I want to pick some up and show it to you guys. This is what we're talking about. This is hail. It almost looks like snow, and this is what the viewers here in Poinciana are seeing. But it's not just hail and unusual weather like that. It's also, unfortunately, the damage. Take a look at what we got over here. This structure right here, this is actually a roof, believe it or not. And what happened was the heavy winds from earlier today literally ripped the roof off this car wash over here, took tore it off and landed it on top of this minivan at this nearby Family Dollar. Now, luckily, the person was not inside at the time. This was a customer, but if we walk over, you can see, I mean, this just blew out the windows over here. We'll walk behind. My photographer can be careful. You can see there's some damaged debris on the ground, but look at this. I mean, this just completely knocked out the windows of this car. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but you really get a good scale as to the damage and just how powerful these winds were, just knocking it off of the car wash all the way into the neighboring lot over here. Just a crazy, wild night of weather here in Central Florida. A lot of things you don't expect to see: hail, and of course, unfortunately, no one wants to see damage like we're seeing right over here. We're live in Poinciana tonight. Matt Grant, West 2 News.
Big cleanup there. Thanks, Matt. A lot of you are sending us your pictures and video of what the storms left behind in your neighborhood. Here's a picture from Poinciana showing just how high the water was along one street, and you can see an ambulance having trouble, almost tipped on its right side there in the standing water. The winds also were strong enough to blow a trampoline into the front yard of one home, as you see here, resting on a light pole. And of course, more photos of the hail. This patio in Poinciana covered. It also looks like some furniture got blown around by the wind there. Remember, you can send us your pictures and video through the ULocal section of wesh.com. We surely appreciate it. And you can also get weather watches and warnings sent to your smartphone by downloading the First Alert Weather app. Just search for Wesh in the App Store or on Google Play. And right now, we continue to hear more about the rain that we are seeing in Central Florida.
It's remarkable. That storm system that moved through Poinciana took place, 6 o'clock this afternoon. Matt Grant was able to lift up hail.
Still just hanging out
Still there. And temperatures are in the 70s. Go figure. Hey, outside, I want to show you what some of these pictures looked like down in Poinciana. Had a lot of our viewers, our weather watchers, if you will, snapping these pictures and sending them on in. Look at that. That's a street corner. Man, oh man, incredible stuff. And then Richard snapped this one right out the front door. It's a river of water out there in the driveway, and the green yard looks an awful lot like snow, huh? It's beginning to look a lot like summer in Central Florida. Here's First Alert Doppler radar still tracking showers and thunderstorms at this hour into the metro area. I-4 very, very slick. Where it's not raining now, it has already been raining. Take a closer inspection. Orlando, energy lifting up to the north toward Winter Park and Maitland, but back over toward Disney World, Windermere, Gotha, up to 429 toward Ocoee, Winter Garden, and Apopka. It's a slick drive. If you've still got travel plans this late, just know that and take it slow, okay? Over here to I-4 from about Seminole County into West Volusia County. Good steady rains falling from Deltona back over toward Lake Ashby. And we're watching this moving into Samsula, Port Orange, and even Daytona Beach. So Port Orange, 11:28, the rain moves in. Daytona Beach, 11:35, and New Smyrna at 11:24. Here's the thunder and lightning that I've been tracking from Dunellen back over to Hernando near Crystal River. This is very, very far off toward the west, but it's starting to slide over toward Reddick, I-75, and Ocala in our coverage area. Now, these storms, not as tall as what we saw earlier on our 3D Doppler radar imagery, but they're still tall enough that they're tapping into some of that cold air, and because of that, we could be still talking about some hail producers even overnight. Interesting scenario, but it is what it is. Central Florida weather, gotta love it. Lots of moisture still in place, and because we're starting to see things breaking up just a little bit, the ground stop has been allowed to expire at Orlando International Airport, though there are still weather delays ranging from about 45 to 60 minutes. That's going to be a big deal for our friends trying to come back into town. But look at this weather that we had. Oviedo, nearly 3 inches of rain today. UCF back over to Eastbrook, nearly 2.5. And Tuscaloosa neighborhood back over to Alafaya Woods, shy of that 2.5-inch mark. So tonight, scattered showers. Temperatures not moving much from where they're at right now. Here's Futurecast midnight, kind of showing the lion's share over in our eastern areas. We get a bit of a break through about 5 a.m. But look at this radar out here in the Gulf of Mexico, tracking that next wave of energy through 7:30, which is about sunrise. So there's going to be some rain, especially Orlando northbound, and then that all kind of moves over toward the east coast. That frontal boundary still in place, so we're going to go with about a 50% chance of rain for your Easter Sunday. High temperature of 87, then the cooling storms move in, staying wet through Wednesday. Then it looks like Thursday into Friday, Adrian, things will be drying out nicely.
All right, thanks, Eric.